The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 639 of a daily deck review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is these 1994 Looney Tunes playing cards in a pretty rough looking tuck box. So, with no further ado, take a look and see what we get. As you can see, it isn't the standard glossy finished tuck box here. There's a black tuck box here on the front. It says Looney Tunes playing cards, and you got the 4 characters here. But the main thing is about this tuck box is that actually there's a hole cut out in the middle. And so that's kind of a bummer there, but it is what it is. But here on the front, you got 4 different Looney Tunes characters. You got Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Tweety Bird, and the Tasmanian Devil, which is kind of cut out. Then you can kind of see inside the tuck box there. On one side, there's Looney Tunes playing cards. The same thing on the other side. On the bottom, it says Looney Tunes playing cards again. It says the nicest playing card company. On the back, you got a barcode, the Looney Tunes logo, and you got a sneak peek of the King of Hearts. And it says Playing Card Faces, features Bugs Bunny and the cast of 14 other colorful Looney Tunes characters. And on the top it says Looney Tunes characters and it's copyright. But it also says 1993 at the top. There, the tuck flap and the inner tuck flap, nothing there. Now if we take the cards out of the box and get rid of this kind of more rough looking tuck box. And we'll take a look at, I guess, on the inside of the tuck box, it's just that matte white finish. Nothing too crazy there. Well, now time to take a look at the cards. And the cards aren't actually in bad shape for being from 1994, because it does say 1994 there on the back of the cards. So they're actually in pretty good shape. The edges obviously are a little bit browned, just because they're so old, but it is a black inked back design here, and it is a one-way back design, but it has 6 different Looney Tunes characters. So it has Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, a Tweety Bird, Tasmanian Devil, Yosemite Sam, and Sylvester. And it does say 1994 Warner Brothers at the bottom, and it is one way, so if you flip it over, the design would be upside down. But for being from 1994, the corners are actually pretty good, like the edges. Because if you like shuffle like fully inked decks, especially like darker like black ones, like they kind of chip on the edges. But these ones actually seem pretty nice. Now for the cards, here we start with the first Joker, and the card you kind of see through the hole in the tuck box. There it is. It says Joker Joker there in that colorful font. Then you got Yosemite Sam there. And then you got a second Joker here with the same colorful font. And you got Foghorn Leghorn. Then you got the custom Ace of Spades, which is Looney Tunes. And you got the 4 little characters there. And obviously you got some custom font, and then you got different characters. So all the characters are the same on each of the numbers. So like all the 2s here are all Pepe Le Pew. And then all the 3s would be the character. But so I'll go through all the characters once, and then we'll just quickly go through the rest of the cards here. But you got the custom font, and then you got a red spade behind Pepe Le Pew. And they all have different colored spades behind them. Then you got Elmer Fudd for the 3. And the 4 is Wile E. Coyote. And he has the fork and knife. And then you got Roadrunner for the 5. And then you got Sylvester for the 6. You got Marvin the Martian for the 7. The 8 is Porky Pig. The 9 is Tweety Bird. 10, you got the Tasmanian Devil. Now we get to the court cards. So we got Daffy Duck here on the Jack. We got Petunia Pig here on the Queen. And we got Bugs Bunny on the King. And if you notice, the court cards here, like the spades here in the background, are 3 different colors there for the court cards. And then we get to the custom Ace of Diamonds, which is slightly different than the Ace of Spades. It just says Looney Tunes, no little like logo with the characters there or anything. But then you got the exact same characters on the same numbers, just in different poses. So we can slightly go through these a little bit faster. And then once again, you got the Looney Tunes logo there on the Ace of Clubs. And then lastly, the Ace of Hearts here is the Looney Tunes logo. But that's all the cards. There's only 54 cards in this. So the 52 plus the 2 Jokers, no extra little ad cards or anything. But now time to test the handling on these 1994 Looney Tunes playing cards. And I actually gotta say, well, I did find these at a yard sale, so that's kind of why the tuck box is all messed up, because if I would have got them online, they would have been a little bit more mint condition. But for the handling, I gotta say these actually handle pretty nice, because it is more of a smooth finish, as you can see. But for the springs, they actually got a nice spring to them. Slightly more towards the thinner side, but like they still got a nice good amount of spring to it. I got a decent fan, nothing like too crazy, because they're that smoother finish where they slightly clump more together, but they do still fan a little bit. You get an idea of what the fan could look like. And then the fan ability, the design will be upside down a little bit. Here's the giant fan, a decent Pharaoh and giant fan, nothing like too crazy, because the regular fans slightly clump, so these ones clump too. But now for the part of the video where the cards will get all mixed up, the riffle shuffle. Well, I gotta say, these actually handle better than expected. Actually, like, I kind of like the handling, honestly. Like, they spring pretty nicely, not like super hard to spring. They're not like super bendy. And then everything else pretty much works, other than like the fans, like I said. They slightly clump with the fans, but like everything else works pretty nicely, so I'll forgive the fans for that little bit of clumpiness. And the design is pretty nice. There was those kind of like older retro style. They were from the 90s. There was all the 6 different characters. It was pretty nice. And then you got the 14 different characters, the 2 Jokers, plus the 12 or 13 other characters on each of the other cards. There. Which is pretty nice. And there's different poses for each character there. Because some characters that 8s here show have Porky Pig on it and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun. So if you're a fan of Looney Tunes, and this is actually a pretty nice deck, and it was pretty cool to find at a yard sale. What is it now? Like a 30-year-old deck of cards that actually handle like pretty nice. Obviously, it was slightly rough, just because they're slightly like they're slightly colored, like discolored and stuff. But that's expected. They're actually way better shape than you would think they would be. But I guess with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and this has been day 639 of a daily deck review, and this has been the 1994 Looney Tunes playing cards. And I'm the Day Collector signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.